गाना क्यों चला रहे हैं? हेमंत, कुछ बोलना मत, आवाज क्या चलेगी? नहीं
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to welcome you all to the Corporate Summit 2025, hosted by the Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, in association with the National HRD Network, Kolkata chapter. The theme for today's summit is Navigating the Future of Work, Next-Gen Leadership and Workforce Trends. As we stand on the cusp of a new era of work, this summit aims to bring together visionaries, industry leaders, and academia to discuss and decode the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. From the integration of cutting-edge technologies to fostering inclusivity and adapting to multi-generational workforce dynamics, today's discussions will delve into the strategies required to thrive in the ever-evolving environment. Through insightful panel discussions and interactions with experts, we hope to inspire thought leadership and empower everyone present to embrace and lead change.
Before moving on, let us take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed director, Brigadier Dr. Sujay Ranjan Chaudhuri. He is the driving force behind this event. It is because of his vision, guidance, and unwavering support that the Corporate Summit 2025 has been made possible. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call Tamolit Ghosh Roy, sir, to welcome the guest.
Good afternoon, esteemed guests from the corporate world. Respected Director Sir, Registrar Sir is on his way. Faculty members, Rashmita Madam, Malini Madam, and young management leaders of the future. I hope you are the future young leaders for us. Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome to AIMK Campus and to Corporate Summit 2025. The genesis behind this summit is this transition of students from the cocooned confines of academia to the bustling thoroughfares of the corporate realm, presenting a profound metamorphosis. This journey to the real world is not only impacted by the personal development but also the corporate transformations. It is a phase where the theoretical underpinnings of education merge with the crucible of practical reality. The way of work is evolving at an unprecedented pace, driven by technological advancements, shifting societal expectations, and global economic trends. As we see today, the future of work is not just a matter of automation and artificial intelligence. It is a transformation of the entire ecosystem in which individuals, businesses, and societies will operate. Based on this premise, we have curated a panel discussion today where four stalwarts from the corporate world, facilitated by a renowned moderator, will share their insights on navigating the future of work. The Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, in collaboration with the National Human Resource Development Network, Kolkata chapter, proudly presents Corporate Summit 2025 on navigating the future of work. Warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the stage for what promises to be an enlightening and thought-provoking discussion. Today, we have the honor of hosting a panel of distinguished leaders and experts who will share their insights on leadership, workforce trends, and navigating the challenges of a rapidly evolving workplace. It is honor for me to introduce the moderator for today's discussion, Dr. Jayanta Nath Mukhopadhyaya, sir, Independent Director at Helios Mutual Fund. Dr. Mukhopadhyaya brings an exceptional blend of academic and industry experience, having served as professor and director at J.D. Birla Institute and holding leadership roles at renowned organizations such as BOC India, IBP Balmalori, SREI, and many more. He was also a former professor at the Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, where he made significant contributions to the academic growth of the institute. Dr. Mukhopadhyaya holds an MBA from IIM Calcutta and a BTech from IIT BHU. With his vast expertise and insightful perspectives, we are confident that this session will be both engaging and thought-provoking. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Jayanta Nath Mukhopadhyaya, sir. Allow me to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Ranjan Banerjee, the Group Head of Human Resources at Berger Paints India Limited, where he has been shaping HR strategy for the past 3 years. With an illustrious career of over 28 years, he has made significant contributions across diverse sectors. His leadership journey includes Chief HR Officer at Saregama India, Senior Vice President of Human Resource at Aditya Birla Group, Associate Vice President at Vodafone, and several other impactful roles. Mr. Banerjee holds a Master's in Social Work from Vishwabharati and a certification in HR Executive Program from Ross Business School, University of Michigan. We are privileged to have him here with us today. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ranjan Banerjee.
Moving forward, it's my honor to introduce Mr. Gautam, President Corporate at RPSG Group, a graduate and postgraduate in electrical engineering from Calcutta University. Mr. Ray has over 4 decades of experience in power sector. He has held key leadership roles including Chairman of National Safety Council, West Bengal Chapter, and Senior Vice President of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. A recipient of prestigious awards such as Energy Administrator of the Year and the Outstanding Achievers Award. Mr. Ray is a visionary leader dedicated to excellence in energy, environment, and HR management. He will be joining the discussion soon.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Rashmita Parija, the Head of HR at Lexmark International. With over 2 decades of global HR experience across India, the USA, and the UK, she is an accomplished HR leader specializing in strategic planning, talent acquisition, succession planning, and organizational development. In addition to her leadership role, she is a professional speaker, mentor, and coach, sharing insights on DEI, inclusive leadership, and employer branding at universities, public events, and industry forums. Mrs. Parija has mentored professionals across various career stages. Her academic credentials include strategic human resource management from IIM Calcutta, executive coaching from Henley Business School, UK, a certificate in organizational development from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and executive coaching from the University of Cambridge. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mrs. Rashmita Parija.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Shibaji Chakrabarty, a seasoned professional with 19 years of distinguished experience at Nestlé. Currently serving as a regional business manager, Mr. Chakrabarty has been instrumental in driving business growth and operational excellence in Kolkata region for nearly 3 years. Prior to this, He played a pivotal role as area manager, nutrition, showcasing his deep expertise in managing key business operations and delivering impactful results. Mr. Chakrabarty's professional journey is a testament to his dedication, leadership, and strategic acumen in one of the world's leading FMCG companies. His contribution has significantly influenced the industry, particularly in the field of nutrition and regional market development. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Shibaji Chakrabarty. Now we look forward to a lively exchange of ideas and perspectives. Thank you all for being here, and let's dive into the summit.
Respected Brigadier Chaudhuri, I believe the race is also on the way. I want to respect panelists. Professor Tamulitra is here. I'm very happy to see Professor Malini, our senior colleague, and I'm very happy to see Rashmita and Devoshmita also sitting. And my dear students, on behalf of the Army Institute of Management and on my personal behalf, I want to accord you a very warm welcome. I was just doing a rough thumb calculation between the four panelists, and if I include me, you have something like 150 years of professional experience. Right? Ash was telling that I am a student of AIMK. When we go back for alumni get-togethers after 20 years, 15 years, you think, okay, we remember some of the most favorite professors we had, and also we remember some of the seminars where we used to have this speakers coming in and they would have told you something, and you remember that it leaves a very big impact. So therefore, if someone today is sitting in the hostel not come here, I am not missing anyone. I want to focus on people like you who have come because this is a very, very important work. I want to compliment the corporate relations department, the director, for selecting such a useful thing. And if you take advantage of this seminar, say it's a 1.5 to 2 hour seminar, if you take advantage of this, this might help you. See, all of you right now, different names, different surnames, but what is common between all of you is that all of you want to do well in life, and a starting point is to get a very good career opening from here. That is common between all of you. And this seminar is exactly about you. The way I'm moderating it is, can I help you to get the dream job that you want to get? Today only, because I happen to know most of the panelists, so Mr. Shibaji in the morning was talking, you must also appreciate that these are very senior people sitting here, and it's a Saturday afternoon. Many of your friends don't want to come, but they have come all the way, and there is no give and take relationship between you and them. There is nothing that you can give to any of the panelists. So what's the relationship? Only give and give. Give and give. Today only in the morning I was telling Shibaji that it's a Saturday afternoon, but you please come because Nestlé is such a dream company. Berger is such a dream company. Lexmark is now being taken over Xerox. These are all dream companies. So basically, this is like a service to the nation. 80% of the boys and girls here are from the army background. So therefore, you come here today afternoon to actually share your experience and prepare these children for a very challenging tomorrow. It's very, very different from the thing today. And I feel very much at home with all of you. One is because I was with Army Institute of Management, but what was not read out in the introduction was that I studied at Fort William. And many of my classmates of school have become colonel, 1-star general, 2-star general, 3-star general, and even 4-star general. If you have seen, just asking a random question to you since you're sitting in the front, do you know this building where you're sitting on the inaugurated by whom? Can you tell me? Yes, person, yes. Do you know? Anyone knows? This building was inaugurated by whom? It's a general knowledge question. Fair question. You know, Mr. Ranjan Banerjee and all, they hold very good position, high position in NHRDN. Even Rashmita does a lot of things in NHRDN. If I was doing this program brigadier at NHRDN, I'd have been sitting there and doing it, and with executives. Here I've come to benefit you. It's very different. My mindset is different from that what I've done for the corporate executive. So brigadier, here we want to really benefit the students. 1-point program. So therefore, this is not normally done a Q&A like this, but I'm doing a little bit to break the ice. Anyone at the back? Yeah, the white shirt, 4th row. Do you know who inaugurated this building? Now, this is not, let me tell you, I'm not doing any time pass with you. This is there. When you enter this building, it is there. Today when Tanmay came, I was telling him that name is, getting covered by some flower pots. But you need to be more observant. That name is there. Professor Ray, please come. Mr. Mr. Gautam Ray, we want to accord you a warm welcome. Please come. I want to personally welcome also Mr. Gautam Ray because he is an engineer from Shibpur, which is a very good engineering college, 1981 batch. He's about 40 years of experience. So when we invited him, he readily accepted. So it's a Saturday afternoon, he has a wedding invitation, but he'll still come. So let us appreciate that and let us give our 100% attention to what they will tell us. So one of the things is when you want to do well in life, you need to be very observant. So if you're in a building like this, it's an Army Street building, first question is who inaugurated the building? It is there, the placard is there. So it was inaugurated by General Anil Chauhan, who was the GOC in C. And why I'm saying that is that today he is the 4-star general, he is the Chief of Defence Staff. And the third thing I want to say that is that he is my classmate of school at Fort William, same section. Right. So I've seen. So when I talk to you, I'm going to share some of the secrets of how people make it so big. Everyone wants to become a 3-star general, 2-star general, 1-star general. Why can't everyone make it? There's some reasons for that. Okay. So rule number 1 is be very observant of what's happening. No negative marking in my classes. Be very observant. Second thing is we're talking of 70-hour work, 90-hour work. We're criticizing it. But however much AI comes and generative AI comes, there shall be no substitute for hard work. Please do it. Today only pre-lunch, with the break, we're discussing brigadier. And everyone, the current generation of general managers, all they talk, the current people, the boys and girls, they don't want to work. They want to talk about work-life balance. It's great to have a work-life balance. And they are telling me that, can we tell this to these youngsters who are 22, 23, because they only want to focus on their life and what they want to do. And I said, no, but I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them. Because let us first do the work properly, then we'll balance the life. If you don't even do the work properly, and I was discussing with them, if you do not do your work properly, after 10 years, there will be consequences. So when you come back for the alumni meet after 10 years, you will find that within this group of people, some of them would have gone much ahead of the others. And some of them would have languished. I want to share this secret. I asked General Chauhan, who is now the CDS, Chief of Defence Staff of India, tell me your secret, yeah. What's your secret? Everyone wants to become like this. One secret I'm sharing with you, he said one is sustained hard work. He told me that myself. Sustained hard work, regularly. You ask Shibaji, sustained hard work. You ask our friend Ranjan Banerjee, sustained hard work. You ask Rashmita, sustained hard work. She logs in at 7:30 in the morning and she logs out maybe at 9 o'clock. And of course, we are going to ask Professor Gautam Ray that, how did you manage 40 hours, this kind of indefatigable work has been doing. But one thing I want to tell you is that whereas we're going to share our experience, there's something called a linear change and an exponential change. What is linear change? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what your father, grandfathers were experiencing. And the exponential change is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Initially, both are 1, 2, and then 4, so you think it's the same. But now we're getting into a period of exponential change. So after some time, the difference becomes so high that in a linear change, you're stuck at 5, and there you have moved to 264 maybe. So that is the kind of change is going to happen. So are you prepared for the change? It is great to have and to dream of the latest Apple iPhone 16. Tomorrow they'll launch 18 and you want to have the Apple phone 18. We all want to have, no one wants to go to Brigadier, no one wants to go to a Puri or, the vacations at Digha nowadays, which was there 40 years back. Today you want to go to Mauritius and Bahamas Island, Cyprus. Where does the money come from? And there is a lot of people who are now getting 1 crore salary. Lot, it's not 1 or 2. In my time, I remember when Mr. Pradeep Shah got a 1 crore salary, it was like in the newspaper. 1 person in India getting a 1 crore salary per year. So breaking news. Today there are so many people who get a 1 crore salary plus. But are you ready to get? So you all want to dream for that 1 crore salary. But the question is, are you ready for that 1 crore salary? So I will go back and sit there and I will leave more from the wise people in the panel to speak. But I will do a small Q&A so that we will understand the context in which the students are sitting. So one question I've asked, some questions on this side. So maybe I'll ask Tanmay himself. I haven't interacted. So Tanmay, question for you. Here we have more people from the manufacturing sector, but I'm going to ask you a question from the banking sector, which is the very big recruiters for all of you. So let's say, and all of you have to give me a truthful and correct answer. After this, I was going to sit there and give it to the panel basically. So let's say a bank comes to recruit here. Professor Tagore brings that bank from Mumbai. Let's say the name of the bank is ABC Bank Limited. Okay, they're offering a salary of 15 lakhs, and which is okay, good compensation. And you have been selected. 5 of you get selected. Now, Tagore, you also get selected. Suppose they offer you a choice, Tagore, that one is a job which is like in the office, head office, or in a branch, where you'll be doing KYC, you'll be dispensing cash, the routine kind of job, life certificate verification. That is one option. You'll still get 15 lakhs. And the other is acquiring new customers, like go out and get new business of the bank, which is like in the rains or sun, you have to go out and actually visit people, their offices, home, and odd hours. Have you understood the thing? One is complete this job at the branch, and second option is to go out, have targets, and acquire new customers, sell them mutual fund, insurance, get them fixed deposits. So Tanmay, all of you have to be truthful. Then only the panelists will be able to add more value to you. So Tanmay, which one would you, like I'm the recruiter, I say, Mr. Tanmay, you're selected, we really like your profile. Which one would you prefer?
So according to me, I would prefer the second option.
Okay. What about, the person sitting on the 4th row, the boy sitting on the 4th row? Yes. What do you tell the truthful answer? Second option. Or what about the 5th, the boy on the 5th? Yeah.
Second one.
Second, okay. What about you? Person sitting behind Rashmita, the girl sitting behind Rashmita, madam? Second. How many of you prefer be truthful, how many of you want to prefer the first option? Because when I was 22, I preferred the first option. But how many of you prefer the first option? Okay. That's about 50%. Okay, and how many prefer the second option? Okay. So you've been very truthful. 50% want to have a desk job and 50% want to have a... What's your name? The boy sitting on the 4th row. Okay. Second question for you. You have to give me a truthful answer. You are given a posting at the Bombay head office. Option 1, same salary. Second salary is within Maharashtra. You will be posted in a branch in a district. Which one would you prefer? Starting. Second. Okay, is the question clear? One is you get a chance at the Bombay head office of the bank. And second option is Bombay. Districts are there, Nagpur and Nasik are famous, but even within, a bit far away from Nagpur, in a district, you are getting a posting. So let's see how many of you would like the Bombay head office posting. How many of you would like the interior of Maharashtra posting? Okay, so it looks like 50-50. I will leave it to the panel to give the answer. I will not give the answer. But one thing is, I want to caution you because I am very up to speed. You not believe I work very sincerely, even now I study very sincerely. I genuinely believe that AI is going to disrupt a lot of work seriously. Because, giving you one example, before I give it to the panel, that if you ask your father just now, after this thing is over, for the KYC of a life certificate, your father will ask you to go to a branch, there will be forms, and he will take help of the person in the bank, and he will fill up those voluminous forms. And there is a person in the bank helping your father or mother to do that work. For life certificates, again, a hell of a lot of work. Ye chahiye, madam, staple your PAN, staple your Aadhaar card, this, that, and there is one person getting very busy. But the truth is that these jobs will vanish. Because with biometric identification, with video identification, there shall be, through your retina scan, I can do the KYC. I just scan the retina, I know everything about you, your Aadhaar, PAN, there is no need for you to fill up and sign. Therefore, my dear friends, my dear students, if you are looking for comfort in your job, please forget it from today. And this, if you can internalize this, see within this crowd of students, brigadier, there is an Arjun, there is a Nakul. Arjun is the boy who can absorb anything from Dronacharya. And Nakul is the average boy. So there will be some Arjuns here who will say, Professor J. Mukhopadhyaya is saying this, he's got 40 years experience, he's like your father, he'll only want good for you, and that's true. So when I'm telling you that, you take it on face value. So these jobs, and I'm telling you, I'm a very good student. So whatever my principal told me, Professor Tagore, I still remember. And he said in a school assembly, that was 40 years back or before, that Aram Ram nahi hai, Aram Haram hota hai. My principal told me that in school, and I remember that I'm telling it to you, and you should be telling it to your children sometime. The day you think that you are going to want a desk job, the day you want, that's your basic instinct, that there will be a AC, there will be a secretary, there will be someone giving you tea, coffee. The day you think that you're going to start your career with that kind of a job, where you want to go in a fixed time at 9 o'clock, and it's 5:30, whether my boss calls me or not, hell with it, I want my work-life balance. You tell your boss, मैं तो कल करूँगा, मैं जा रहा हूँ सर 5:30 बज गया, मेरा शटल वेट करा लीजिए, या मुझे जाना है सर, मेरा गर्लफ्रेंड से अपॉइंटमेंट है. आपका और कुछ नहीं पता मुझे, आपका कैरियर तो नहीं होगा, तो पक्का है. And like parents will let me know, but this young generation, a lot of new things like YouTube blogger, is a stand-up comedy. I said for every 1,000 people, there is one person in stand-up comedy who makes crores of rupees. It is not a bachcho ka khel. Even that requires a lot of hard work. That stand-up comedy person who is putting that blog or something, a lot of hard work goes. So there is no such hard work. So I want to improve because I have come here. I accepted, Brother Tamajit invited me, I accepted the invitation. It's a sad afternoon for me also, yeah. I have many other things to do. But I'm sitting in front of you, standing in front of you. The reason I'm standing in front of you is, Brigadier, I thought I want to serve the nation in my way. By meeting you, right now, I feel I'm doing a puja. I'm serving the nation. That's why I'm here. I'm not doing time pass with you. So from today, and I'm telling you that today, those people are sitting right now in the hostel who are not here, you're already one step ahead of it because they're missing out. That attitude of sitting in the hostel, telling some cock and bull excuse. No excuse, my dear friends, is a good excuse. It is not a good excuse. So remember that, no excuse is a good excuse. And you need to put on that really, really hard work. AI is very disruptive. It's going to take away all the routine jobs from you. Therefore, if you're looking for a routine, comfortable job, from today, talk to yourself that, our CRP head is wonderful. I know him, that one kind of companies he brings, that's fine. But that same federal bank will have a very different kind of job profile than what was 5 years back. So, अगर आप आराम ढूंढ रहे हैं, so you already lost out. And it's very painful after 10 years, 20 years, and you really need to work hard on that. Okay? And second thing is, choice between head office and district. You must go and tell the boss, sir, I don't want a head office posting. I'm 23. I'm a Subedar's son or a colonel's son. So I want to go out the field and meet the customers. I want to understand the market. Let it be sun or rain, but I want to do the field. I want to understand. I will do the analysis later. I'll open the laptop and do the analysis later. So first, let me go and meet that Mr. Ghosh, Mr. Wadekar, Mr. Manjrekar, Mr. Singh. I want to meet Mr. Ajay Singh first before I have a strategy. So this looking for a strategic role, and always remember, what are your strengths? Your strength. Acha, I forgot to tell you that even in 1907, the first batch brigade when it was started, I was a visiting faculty at Army Institute. So my relationship with you people are so deep that I taught to the first batch of your Army Institute. So what are your strengths? Your strength is that you are a colonel's son or a Subedar's son or a Sula General's son. People look up to you, to very active, dynamic. And there are boys who are maybe hardworking, maybe more analytical. They go to an IIT and then an IIM. So they are going to leave that analytical job to them. You cannot compete with an IIT and IIM normally. One or two may be able to compete, but generally on a medium to medium, you cannot compete with the IIT. But where you can beat that IIT IIM boy is if you know your customers better. And let me tell you one more thing. That boy, that IIT IIM boy, is not by accident. He would have worked very, very hard to be there, to get into the IIT and then IIM. And most of the boys and girls at IIM are also very competitive. They not only get into IIM, they work very hard there also. So therefore, you have to identify your strength. Your strength in my mind is that I'm an army officer's child and I'm very hardworking. You should shake hand with your customer, you shake hand with your boss, and mentally you are telling that, sir, I can do anything. That is the thing. Does it make sense to all of you? Are you feeling good or feeling tired after lunch or feeling energized? What are you feeling? How's the Josh? Good. I'm not going to repeat it again like a movie, but I'm very happy to see that. So I don't think any of us is feeling sleepy. I'm not feeling sleepy, definitely. You can see that. I'm totally charged. Why I'm charged? Because I am come with a mission to serve you. Neither can you give me anything, nor I want to take anything from you. So my relationship with all of you is give and give. As one wise man said, that when a tree becomes, mature, it gives fruit and it bends down, but the fruits are more accessible to the villages, the village boy and girl. So when you see a professor, Mr. Gautam, president of the Bengal Chamber, he's there, 40 years of experience, worked through, I think the biggest group, the RPSG group, he's representing there, and he is calm. So when he's speaking, full attention. Ranjan Banerjee, Berger Pains, Group CHRO, he's risen from the ranks. I know him for many, many years, we were in the same committee in HRDN. So when they speak, you need to understand. And I want to also talk, not in the profile, but since I know Shibaji very well, going beyond the profile. Shibaji is from Chandanagar, which is a small kind of a town in West Bengal. From there he went to Kalyani University, MBA, which is not the best university. No campus interview. 25 years back when he passed out. He used to give walk-in interviews. Just take a CV and walk in. I hope you also know that when the IITs and IIM started, my dear friends, there was no campus interview. You're not assured of a job even at IIT and IIM. It's only now, after all the hard work that the older batch has done, you're able to enjoy the fruits today. Ashwita, there was no confirmation of job that time. It was that difficult. So therefore, you're just telling me, I said, well, that's really great. He'll go with his CV. So he started off with a pharmaceutical company, which is not great. But today he's worked to Nestlé. And he says, when it's month closing, he was telling me just now, start at 8:30 to 11:30, 12 in the night. You cannot say, sir, I would appoint at 5:30 with my girlfriend or boyfriend and activity. You cannot do it. Then just forget about it. Just forget about it. You cannot do that. So I think with that preface, that was set the tone, because this is not a Bengal Chamber of Commerce or a meeting of the corporates that I'm just sitting there and having a chit chat. Did you like what I said? Does it make sense? Are you feeling more well prepared now for your next campus interview? Is it worth coming here and sitting from? See, Professor Tamil can only bring people like us, but you have to absorb. So from today, let your Adarsh be the Arjuna Mahabharata. You are the favorite of Dronacharya, favorite of Pitama Bhishma, favorite of Draupadi, is favorite of and Lord Krishna, and completely absorbing what Dronacharya is saying, and that's why Arjuna is Arjuna. So inculcate that I shall be the Arjuna, not be a Nakul or Sahadev just attending Dronacharya's classes. So with that preface, now that we have got both Dronacharya's equivalent here, so we'll straight away go now to Professor Gautam. So since you have so much years of experience, 40 years plus, sir, we know it. No, you can say speak on this. We have a microphone. You are too senior. So you tell us what is the attributes you have seen so many people join with you who have passed out. Some were very successful, and some who middle level. What were the qualities you found in them? And sir, what are the changes you see for the next for these boys? Because they want to become successful. No one wants to become successful. So you tell us from your heart, sir, what are the qualities you look for at the very prestigious Sanjeev Banka RPG Sanjeev Banka. Can you tell us?
Good afternoon. And first of all, thank you, Professor Mukherjee, for inviting me. And when you given me a call, I can't say no. So, and it's inspiring also to come within the young graduates who will be, running the country in next few decades. There is no easy solution to that, and there is no one solution to that. And it's not really a prescription. It's basically you have to evolve your own ways. Only thing what you need to have a huge passion and commitment, and you should have that aspiration. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Now, the volatility, the uncertainty of the world has become so much. None of us knew about this work from home. None of you knew about this lockdown even 4-5 years back. But the world didn't stop. Even during the deep period of lockdown, it didn't stop. I represent an industry which could not be stopped for a minute. And how? The path was not known. We have to continuously rediscover that what challenges are coming, what are the changes happening, and how to really make the things happening the way we are thinking. So this uncertainty, these levels of uncertainty, if we call it, it will increase. These frequent changes in your life will happen. Whatever you are thinking today, whatever you are studying today, of course, I have a different opinion on that the fundamentals are very, very required. So don't think that the study, the curriculum, what you are going through are not useful. The fundamental of that will take you whole of your life. But the applications, the experiments, what you have to do, the way you have to handle the situations, these are something which cannot be like a prescription. You have to evolve this, and you have to generate that much of passion, that much of commitment and aspiration within yourself. So, on an average thing, I can tell you that 4 to 5 years is the rate of obsolescence today. Whatever being, even for the technology, whatever being practiced today, max to max 5-6 years, the whole of technology will change. But it's not a fact, then all people who are relevant today will be redundant tomorrow. So there is another need, we call it a lifelong learning. So lifelong learning is something which has to be within yourself. And that's why the people talk about this multi-skilling, reskilling, upskilling. This is something, it's not a course today. I mean, 40 years back, when we studied in the institutions, it was almost a terminal course. But today it is just an initiation. So you have to continuously go on learning that what all things are happening and make yourself relevant and contextual. That is the most important thing.
From here we move on to another very senior person, Mr. Ranjan Banerjee. And since cultural transformation is something you love and I also really appreciate, so I give you an open-ended thing. Please tell us about this facet more, how it's going to really impact in the coming next 20 years for these boys and girls.
See, when we talk of culture and cultural transformation, it's not a very soft, nice thing to do. Culture is determined by what goods and services you deliver to the customer in the market. The product or the service that you deliver in the market and how the customer wants it is what will determine what should be the culture in the organization you will be working in future. And accordingly, everything else in the organization, the processes, the ways of work, the ways of interaction, the ways of performance management, remuneration, training inputs, what will give you, what will incentivize, what should incentivize you and what should not, will all be decided by culture, which will be decided by what the customer wants to see in the market. So I'll give you an example. There are products, there are goods and services you produce and you sell in the market which have very little differentiation. For example, Coke and Pepsi. Right? There is very little product differentiation. So what works? Show of hoopla, show of happiness, show of excitement. Right? That helps you sell better. If that helps you sell better in the marketplace, then within the organization, you need a culture which is more exciting, which is more bright, the colors are bright, the way of working is exciting. There's flexible work, there is freedom of expressing yourself, freedom of experimentation. So the product and the customer determines the culture. Right? Now, for example, if you go to retail, let's say, retail works on wafer thin margin. Right? So there the culture will not be freedom to experiment. Because if they give you freedom to experiment, then the wafer thin margin will also disappear. So there it is, the culture is going to be more streamlined, process driven, adhering to principles, adhering to work processes, adhering to business processes. So these will determine the nature of the product, nature of the market, the views and requirements of the customer is what will determine the culture of the organization. And and everything else in the organization will depend on what kind of culture you want to foster. Culture of excitement, culture of innovation, culture of fast change depends on what the market wants. Similarly, when you go to work there, you will have to change yourself accordingly. So that is what, in my view, is culture transformation. And I was listening to you on AI. This is where AI will fail. It's not going to work. It is your feeling, your understanding of the market, your understanding of the customer, your understanding of processes, your understanding of the product, which will determine culture. So that's where you come in. 1 out of every 3 tasks, 66% of the jobs, the research says, 1 out of every 3 tasks will get automated, not full jobs. What will remain with humans is thinking, transformational, creativity, understanding with empathy. All of that will remain with humans. Thank you.
Now we'll, हम लोग बोलते हैं बेटा एक xerox करके लेके आ जाओ, So I was told that Rashmita is Lexmark, but I understand Xerox has taken over Lexmark. Madam is actually from Lexmark, should be a part of the Xerox, a great US company. You know that, right? Xerox, हम लोग photo Xerox लेके आ जाओ. So, and Madam heads the HR of the whole R&D team, a very powerful R&D team of 350 people. I was very happy to know that that's out of Calcutta. So I'm used to studying Calcutta, and Madam is at Calcutta. With a 350 strong team on the R&D. So, Madam, you give an open-ended thing to you, since that's high technology. So, how technology impact the lives of these boys and girls? Okay.
Okay, I think the start was a little. All right. So, firstly, it's a privilege to be here and amongst all of you. And I was as we got in, I was telling Ranjan Banerjee saying that looking at all of you suddenly reminds me how many years ago was it that I was on the other side of the table. So it suddenly brings into perspective. But as we're talking about how technological advancements is going to make your life different, and I don't think I'm going to tell you anything new. So you've heard the word VUCA, right? So everybody is familiar with the word VUCA. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. Is this the world that you all live in? Yeah, that's the world that you're getting yourself into. So when you're getting out from your colleges and your education, and I think what you're going to go into is a very, very complex world. I think when when COVID hit and when pandemic hit in 2020, we thought that was complex. We thought there was so much of ambiguity out there. But these days, it's almost like every day. That's what you're going to get yourself into. And it's about how do you make yourself geared up to manage those changes. So here, I think there's one saying which comes to my mind, and this is by Charles Darwin. Who else to talk about future and evolution other than Charles Darwin? It says, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent that survives. It's the one that's the most adaptable to change that survives. Right? So it is about all of you who will be getting into that world which is continuously changing. So as Mukhopadhyaya mentioned, 4 to 5 years, that's what the obsolete world is. So I think we started talking about the 40 is the new 60. That's what people are talking about these days. So that's what you're going to get yourself into. So until and unless you continue to evolve, continue to learn, continue to upskill, reskill, go through that continuous learning process, you will never keep yourself relevant. So when we talk about hard work is not just that word of which says hard and work. That's not what it is. It is about continuously evolving and understanding what is needed in the world, and that's what will keep you, in the forefront. So what in terms of what we are, technology world, as we say, we continuously look at what are the new ways of doing things. And I think every company, every industry that we are talking about is a technology industry. It doesn't matter whether it's Berger, it doesn't matter whether it is Nestlé, whether it is Lexmark, which I'm representing. Every company that we are talking about is a technology company. So we have to continuously evolve, continuously learn, and continuously keep yourself abreast with all that is going on. Yeah, and what you're bringing to the table is your empathy. What you're bringing to the table is your feelings. What you're bringing to the table is your intelligence. Yeah, AI can do the artificial part of it, but the real intelligence is with all of you. So I think that's what you're going to bring to the table. And that's what we also look forward to when we hire freshers out of college into companies like us. That's what we're looking at. The mundane work can always be done by automation. That's what we are geared up to do. But there is much more than that that can be managed by people alone, and that is what we are looking forward to when we're talking about company like us. So as we said that Lexmark has just been acquired and it's a public domain information by Xerox, though we are still going through the process, it's still not done. So we are still Lexmark until we finish the whole process of merging. But at the moment, I'm still representing Lexmark alone. So that's one.
Now we move on to, 40 years back also, Nestlé was a dream company for MBAs. Today also, Nestlé is a dream company. So something Nestlé is doing correct, it's not getting acquired. It has a phenomenal return on one of my favorite financial ratios, return on equity. It's something like 90%, most companies don't even hit 20%. And Nestlé, with its dominance in baby food in particular, coffee, hits 90% ROE. But instead of doing the esoteric thing, since as I said, this is not a Bengal Chamber of Commerce or a CIA event, I'll ask Shibaji that, the distribution part, which is where the thing is, and how distribution is changing. And please take your time, don't be in a hurry. Please take your time to explain to these boys and girls about the distribution, the need for hard work, the late hours in sales. So, and we worked for 20 years in a company, so that's a big thing. It's a big deal. So over to Shibaji.
Hi. Good afternoon all. So it's an honor for me to sit beside all the budding managers. So before getting into the answer of Dr. Mukhopadhyaya, I would like to wish you all a very fascinating career. Wishing you all a very fascinating career. So what Sir asked me is about the distribution network of Nestlé, how Nestlé operates and what are the evolution happening. So before that, I just want to share some other interesting facts before you. Since I am in Nestlé for slightly more than a couple of decades. So I started my career somewhere in the beginning of the 21st century. So after completing around 23, 22 years in this FMCG industry, so I have seen some evolution. So yeah, the most important part is the automation, which being a real disruption in the industry. So when we started our career in the early 2000s, those were the days of big worksheet and spreadsheets. We find in every nooks and corners in the market, the salesmen are roaming in the market with a big notepad in their hand. They're taking data from the outlets, they're taking data from the distributor points, from all the Kirana outlets, the invoicing data, the offtake data, and whatnot. They're noting it out in the piece of paper. And in those days, sales meeting or sales reviews used to be nightmare. We used to awake throughout the night and preparing those month-end sheets. Those are few meters long. So those were the days. So this continued till I would say somewhere around 2007, 8 like that. Then came the era of Excel. So we all start working with a pivot, with a VLOOKUP, all these functions come. So we know how to put this data manually and churn out the data which we require. All this require quite a bit of time. So that was the phase 2 you can see of this invasion of automation in this sales industry. Next came somewhere around 2012-13, the era of Infodex, which is called every company start implementing SAP. So what happened because of that? The office backend gets connected with the market. So once the Infodex will start providing an MIS data to all the salesperson, whatever data they require. They might require data outlet-wise, they might require data town-wise, brand-wise, whatnot. They will provide you the whole lot of data with you. Now you start working on that data. So that was happening till the COVID period. The post-pandemic comes a huge evolution. What happened? You can call the era of AI. Still AI is in a very nascent stage in FMCG industry or any other industry. See, what happened, the era of chatbot, predictive analysis, and you'd say the Power BI implementation, all this starts happening in the sales industry. Now, a salesman, a salesperson, a sales manager gets the data, what is required for him. They're getting more customized data. They're getting the right kind of data. So as a result, now they can concentrate more into their core job, that is beyond the market. So that's how the evolution of the sales ecosystem has happened over the last 2.5 decades. So this is a very interesting thing which I feel I would share with you all. So now coming to the distribution model, see in the Southeast Asia region where we operate in a very unique model of distribution. We call it, it's a very slang I can say, it's a Lala distributor, we call it. You will find. So there is a huge distributor point, like you will find a big Gadi in Bajar. This kind of distributors are operating in a South Asian region market, where distributors are operating with a meager margin. They pay the company beforehand, and they will sell the stocks on credit. So for most of the big FMCG or the big multinational, this is a very profitable market. This is a very profitable model. But unlike in the global markets, in the first world countries, we operate in a different manner altogether. There equally big distribution houses are there, where we need to bargain with houses like a Walmart, with a Cargill, and they negotiate prices. So that's altogether a different ball game. So the distribution system is very dynamic across globe, and in India also we are evolving to this. We are evolving to this mode of distribution with the advent of companies like Geos and everything, and with the advent of Q-commerce. I'm sure all of you are aware of the term Q-commerce, like a Blinkit and Zepto. So things are evolution is much more faster. So that is
Move back to Mr. Gautam. So sir, when we start our career almost same time, there used to be very hierarchical, management trainee, assistant manager, deputy manager, senior manager. And now people are talking the textbook at least of collaboration. It is not going to be so hierarchical. It has to be flat structure. So that's in the book. But what's your, because you have CSC also, Saregama also, first FSN also. So you have the everything. So what's your take on the organization structure? How is it changing? How is it changed? And how it will change further? That's the question for you.
Like everything is changing, organization structure is also changing. That's reality. And as we were saying that the need of collaboration even within the organization has become more and more important. In fact, this collaboration word I would like to little emphasize on that unless we know as individual, even for me, for students, for all of us, that now the most important task to all of us that to know how to really live in a collaborative environment. Because the conflicts she was referring to, the conflicts are there everywhere now. Now, the conflicts are not the end of the road. You have to find out that there is a term called in the diplomatic world that we agree to disagree. So, issue is that this conflict, dispute resolution and ultimately bringing, because you see on the question of suppose the whole world is moving now towards, that is the writing on the wall is the sustainability. Where in fact the people like you must have a proper understanding of the subject, because the time when you will be in the industry, you will be in the society, more forget about industry, that will be the primary focus in life, because it is now we have pushed to the wall in a do or die situation. So in every respect we need to know that how the different type of, there is a word called common but differentiated responsibility. There are some responsibilities which are common, but some responsibilities have to be there which are differentiated. So this collaboration is definitely a very, very important aspect, be it at the national level, be it at the societal level, family, organization, everywhere. And accordingly, there has to be changes happening in the org structure also. But that my personal view is that really doesn't mean that there will be complete dilution of the hierarchy. It cannot be. Because unless there is a chain of command, unless there is accountability measures in different forms, no organization, whatever the form may be, it can really exist. So there has to be there. But the way of dealing the hierarchy, way of attacking those problems, or the way we are thinking to mix up with the people has to be changed. So it is more on a softer side, more on a attitude, than that of a structure. But definitely there have been, you are rightly saying, there have been matrix structure, or different type of structures have come. That is absolutely right. And as more and more the people will go in for the flexible type of engagement with the organization, which is also something which is happening and which is the reality. You cannot just say yes or no to that. So it has to be also, the organizational structure also have to be evolved. We talk about gig economy, we talk about this, even the other side of the thing is moonlighting. So whenever, I mean, I'm not saying about the regulations and how really we will control it. I'm saying that accepting that's the fact of life, how the organization need to change itself among all other things, including the structure, so that it can really make, it can accommodate the entire thing, so that it can move. So otherwise what is happening, another phenomena is often now seen that people are there in the organization but they are not there, which is termed as quite quitting. So I mean, that is also very, very important. So yes, but I yet, because of my maybe from the old school, so I yet believe that some structure has to be done.
So Ranjan, coming back to you, you are telling, Berger Paint is such a large paint company, and they have direct people in the payrolls, and many one associates in thousands. So from a career perspective, if you get sometimes an offer for being an associate of a company as big as Berger's or some other company, is your career going to move slower, or if you work hard, it's equally good? So that's my question. If one of the students get an offer from an associate and not directly say Berger payroll, should he accept it, or, and if you can explain that associate thing a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So what happens is, you see, depending on business requirements and where we want to penetrate, which market we want to penetrate, we also take people through the associate payroll, which we call off-road. So either these are third-party agencies which pick up good talent and then send them to us. We train them and we put them across in the markets. So they are the ones who go and meet the painter, the contractor, the interior decorator, and make a pitch and convert them from competition into our. Right? So that is basically, fundamentally, that is their job. They go to the painters and contractors and interior designers and dealers and get leads. Right? Which person, which customer want what kind of painting to be done where. There are also store executives who sit in stores and they interact with the customer. Again, in this case, they are the influencers, which is painters and contractors and interior designers. And then they speak to them and convert them. So this is their job. Now, after a period of working well, and if we find that they have been working very well and they have picked up the job and they are able to get a number of conversions from competition into our company, into our business, then we put them through a quick assessment. And then we put them through another 3 months journey, which is to understand product, process once again. And then take hold of a territory independently, assisted by a buddy, and then work there. And then we test them out whether they are competent to become sales officers. If they are, and if they have minimum qualification of being a graduate, then we convert those top-rung frontliners who were off-roll or associate manpower earlier, we convert them into our on-roll, which is a sales officer. This is how this happens. Anything else that was there in your question? This.
very practical question, Rashmita, for you, which will be very helpful to them, is on time management. You are mentioning that you have a son who's 21 years old, you're being a lady, but you still log in at 7:30 and you log out so late. How do you manage your time? Very practical thing for them.
Sure, thank you so much, I think, for the question. And this is a topic which I do love to talk about when I go to particularly universities and when we hire freshers out of college, because we do hire some amount of engineering graduates from college. And the first 2-3 days, I think this is an important topic that we talk about. So as as Dr. Mukhopadhyaya mentioned, that I have a 21-year-old fetus, and being a mother to a 21 who was a few years ago, maybe a 15, 16, it's very difficult to make them understand. At least, when I say that, saying that there is a certain time for everything. But it's with time and age that he's also now evolved and he's also matured. So he understands it, but I still have a 16-year-old at home who still doesn't have any clue about timing, and everything is as per my time, right? But what happens is when we all get back and get into work life, you have to have certain discipline around you. Because if you don't have that, and particularly in the world that you're living in, when we talk about, and I'm going to be, because I'm representing technology industries, I'm going to talk a little bit with reference to that. It's very easy to blur the lines between your work life and your home life. Yeah. So it's a very thin line, and particularly this kind of came into almost like a headway when we were in the pandemic and when people were working from home. There were no differentiation between work life and home life. Everything would merge into each other. Even today that happens. Yeah, even today, because what has happened is we have gotten used to this 24/7. So the way OTT works, I can have it at the click of a button. I also think the work can happen at the click of a button. But it is very important to understand that everything has a time for itself. So when we pick up, when our people pick up, so we have this model on which most of our work happens, which is called scaled agile methodology, which is basically a methodology that is utilized like many other methodologies of quality that we talk about. So in that, what happens is everybody is tending to pick up a piece of work that they think that they're going to take on and deliver. So, and it is a team of say 10 people. Out of the 10 people, there are 10 people who have picked up, each has picked up a piece of work, and each has a time by when you need to deliver that work, because somebody else is dependent on that to make sure that once you deliver, there is a quality check happening, there is a further development happening on that piece of work. So if you don't maintain your time, and if you don't understand the importance of it, why it is important for you to do it, then you imagine that how many other people are getting impacted by it. Yeah, so that is why it is very important for you to understand, and that's what we talk about at the very beginning. Simple enough examples I'll give you that we have had, like I have had examples of people who come fresh out of college, and maybe in the first 3 months, chalta hai, it's okay. If I don't turn up at 10:30, but I turn up at 11:30, it should be fine, because this is what used to happen in college. It doesn't work for us anymore. Yeah, I'm not saying that 10:30, 11:30 can happen a day. Can happen, maybe there is an exigency at home, maybe there is a certain transport issue that you had, maybe it could be any of such reasons. We will understand that. But at some point in time, you're respectful not just of your own time, but you have to be respectful of the person who's depending on you to get that work done. Yeah, so it is at the, you're a part of a whole microcosm. So it's not you not working individually. It's gone at those times when you're working as an individual and you're saying that, okay, I can do it at my time. That's not what is going to happen. So hence, it's very important to be able to understand that kind of time management, particularly if you're when you get out and become managers to distributed teams. People could be across any borders, right? So you could be managing a team which has got people in US, people in different parts of India, where the timings are a little different for each other. So then it becomes very important for you to understand that if each of them deliver their piece of work on time, you will make sure that the whole piece is delivered, right? It's not about just one piece. And particularly also for yourself. You will also need to understand that maybe on a Friday evening, I should be spending time with my family. So if you realize that somebody else has not delivered and because of which my Friday is gone off, you're not going to be a happy person. And is nobody else going to be a happy person? So in that way, that is why we talk about saying time management is something that is very, very key. So it's almost like hard work is key and time management is key. Make sure that you keep those in your mind when you're going into work life. And that doesn't start when you get yourself into work life. It actually starts today as students. Yeah, because you know that you have certain projects to be delivered, you know that you have certain work to be delivered. So if you maintain that, that will become like a habit with you. Yeah, so that is still, those are cliche words which are still there, but they're still very, very applicable in the work.
Totally agree. So one golden rule is that try to reach the office before your boss reaches, and try to leave the office only after the boss leaves. You know, my father used to say, boss's word is law, his smile is life, and his frown is death. So make sure that your boss is smiling at you. He's a very, very important person in life, much more than your boyfriend, girlfriend, your spouse. Believe me, that's the reality of life. But Mr. Chaudhuri, I want to come back to you once again on one more very important thing. You know, we say career is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not a 100-meter race, it's a 40 years race. And Mr. Gautam has played that marathon race very well. He's 65 plus, still going strong. He's executive director of CSC. He now is further moved up to as the president corporate of RPSG group. And there are lots of books, sir, on, you know, how to be a good boss and how to be a good leader. But I always say the first thing is how to be a good subordinate. So since you have worked with so many bosses and you know the bosses really liked you, so you have moved up so much at the ladder. So please tell us, sir, how to become a good subordinate.
Why are you not asking that how to become a good husband, how to become a good wife? Because it's a relationship, primarily. It's not really because how things happen. When she was mentioning our time management. Starting from the kindergarten, we used to go to the school at time. Never it happened that the morning 8 o'clock, the school begins and we are going there at 9. So all through my school, all through my college days, like this, I have been trained, I have been tutored, I know that the life is, we have to go by times. Then why the question comes when I am in a workplace, that I am really keeping time or managing time or not. So it's basically the environment. So boss subordinate relationship is also very much dependent on the environment where you are working. Definitely you have to have that respect, but at least I got that opportunity to meet the bosses whom really today also I have a great respect because of their knowledge, because it was a company where I had the opportunity to work. It's a more of a, they used to look into us as a fatherly. But that doesn't mean that this, you have been telling so many times about that you have to work hard, you have to work late night. I have seen it from the trainee period. The people used to work overnight, again next morning they are coming. But there was something which we call the emotional connect with the organization, which actually helped us to grow. And particularly the boss-subordinate relationship, I would say the boss has much more responsibility than the subordinate. So, and today, the way things are going, it is no more, how many days there will be actually, the boss word will be there, I have a doubt. So, you have to think about it.
So boss word may or may not be there till it is there. Make sure that the boss is smiling at you. Whether even IS, because I also know a lot of IS officers, IPS officers, boss has to smile at you. If he's not smiling at you, your evening will be spoiled. Even an IS officer tells me that the cabinet secretary is not happy with him. Very unhappy. Forget about the army. If the brigadier is not happy with one, you're gone. In the army, it's totally you're gone. You know, it's about fraction by which if your ACR is spoiled, you're going to miss your next promotion, right? So it's about 3:35. I was looking at the watch, and we have to let our dignitaries also go because it's the evening. But I think we should give an opportunity for question and answers. And before that, as I say, I like to observe, and our Brigadier Sir, Chaudhuri Sir is so senior, And yet I find that, he has nothing to take from this, yet he was taking down notes, which is absolutely amazing that, that such a senior person is still taking notes. That's a very, very good thing. That reminds me of a secret, That's the secret, you keep it for the next 40 years. Whenever you go to your boss, he just calls you, please take a notebook, writing pad and a pen. And even if he's saying something trivial, try to note it down. That will give a feeling to your boss that you are taking it with seriousness, with importance. Don't just walk in, sir, here I am. Base data, yes. Yeah, the basics, as you're saying. You must know your sales data or whatever data you have in operation data very well. Should be really good at your work. So, like boss still remains important till the time boss is there. And I think Mr. Gautam was saying that we have to have some, you may not have 10 levels of hierarchy, but there will be at least 3 levels of hierarchy all the time. Okay, so Brigadier sir, with your permission, we'll have some question answers. So Brigadier, do you have anything to ask the panel? You have, it seems. If you have, sir, please feel free. Okay. Okay. First chance to the faculty members. Rashmita. Can you give a microphone to the lady? Yes, you are. Excellent question. Excellent question. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for that question. And again, I love that question because it gives me an opportunity to talk about the topic. I think glass ceiling used to be there. I wouldn't say that it's completely gone, but more than glass ceiling, I think the challenge that we have today, as I mentor, middle level women professionals as outside of work, it's a stickiness to the ground which is becoming a bigger problem. You will see, what we see is, we see a big pipeline of females who do come into the work life. But what happens is they are getting lost along the way. So you will find that a very small percentage is actually moving up to the level to where you'll probably see the sea levels and the levels below them. So I think what our challenge is today, as somebody who's sitting on this side of the table, is to make sure that mid-career women stay in the workforce. And how can that happen is when organizations also make it possible for us to be there. So I would take this time to talk about a small example of mine, saying that I was out on my maternity leave with my second child, and I had taken my regular leave. We had 3 months of maternity leave at that point in time. And at the end of that third month, my CHRO called me to say that, Rashmita, we have had a reorganization within the company. And so I'm placing you in one of the largest business units as a business partner. And my first reaction was, I'm coming back only part-time for 2 months before I start to ease myself into full-time job. And because I've got a very young child of 3 months, so I don't think I'll be able to do justice. And his answer to that was, I believe that you will do complete justice to that. It's my trust and belief, and hence I'm happily putting you in there, and it was a success. So I think it was the belief of the organization which made me believe myself, which I was doubting. I still didn't have that confidence in me that I could do it, because I knew I had to spend more time at home. I needed to be nurturing my young child and all of that as a mother that happens, yeah. And I also had an younger child as well. But it was the belief of the organization and they enabled me. They enabled me by giving me flexibility. They enabled me by my manager, my boss, who I was reporting into, also giving me that level space, saying that it's okay if you need to get the work done. It doesn't matter whether you get it done within that 9 to 6 or you get to do it afterwards. And if you want to get something done after, because it's convenient to you, you're more than welcome to do it. So I think that's where we can actually enable the mid-career woman to be able to be available to get to the top. I think if we are not able to do that, then that's the combined failure on our end.
That's a very good question, very good answer. You will find that if the class 10 results come out, so many girls on top, class 2 results come out, so many girls on top, but if you trace their career, somewhere or the other, the ladies are getting lost. Now that is one thing I want to tell you, lots of girls sitting here, that India's GDP is about $4 trillion now, which is the fifth largest, but will become third very soon. We still have the fastest growing economy at about 6.5% per annum, 6.7. Slow, but relatively slow, but relatively is the fastest. But till more and more ladies don't participate in the workforce, we need to grow at about 12%, otherwise we're not going to get advantage demographic dividend. So therefore, I encourage, like this is I think a role model. You have two children, and still she hasn't dropped off. I think we need to follow. Amazing, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. We need to follow that, your role model, ma'am. Malli ma'am, you would like to ask something? Senior most faculty for us.
That this has become more difficult with the disruption of say AI or technology, or the culture remains as such difficult to change.
No, I would again go back to market forces. So if market forces want change, they will force that change. What is important is for the leadership team within an organization to be able to understand and usher in that change. So when you usher in, why do you bring change in an organization? You bring change in an organization in order to ensure that your organization's business does better than before. That's the purpose. Or your organization is able to adapt to new consumer demands or what the market has thrown out, so that your business prospers and does better. Now what happens is when you start the process of change, initial years, there is a sudden dip in your business results. Then it plateaus. The key thing here is the ability of the leadership team to stand their ground and to continue and persist with that change even when business results have dropped. What normally happens is when business results drop, people panic. The leadership panics and they try to steer back the course of change. It doesn't work. So being able to usher in this change and being able to face a drop in business results and then a plateauing of business results and then an enhancement of business results. This plateau has to be kept in mind. And all leaders have to know how to navigate this plateau. I call it the valley of despair. There's a valley and you start despairing. You should be able to navigate that valley of despair very effectively. And for that, it's important to understand three things. One, the leader of the organization should be able to effectively articulate the purpose for change. What is the story behind change? What is the need for that change? That needs to be articulated very clearly, number one. Number two, you must build strong role models within the organization. So when change is coming in, a change in a way of working, then everybody in the organization, all leaders in the organization need to mirror that change and become role models of that. Number three, you need to give strong results, strong messages. So the reinforcement system needs to be very clear. Those who go with the change and encourage the change and adapt to the change, they should be rewarded. Those who resist the change either they should be motivated to change or they should be asked to leave. And finally, how do you enable the last mile, the last layer of employees in your company to adapt to that change? How do you enhance their skills? Because unless you enhance their skills and help them adapt to that change, they will resist change. Resistance to change will not come from AI or anything else. AI will usher in change. more disruption happens in the way you do your business, the way you work, the way you carry out your processes, the way the market looks at you, the way the customer looks at products, it will usher in change. The ability of the leadership team to manage and navigate that change is what will decide whether the organization will succeed or not succeed. Whether you will become a Kodak or you're going to become a Google, which is constantly evolving. If you can't navigate that change, leaders who can't navigate the change will become Kodak, even with an 80% market share, and Nokia with a 68% market share. They don't exist. Or a Google, which will keep changing. The moment they stop changing, GE is nowhere now. 10, 15 years back, everybody wanted to join GE. Today, GE is nowhere in the map. It's dropped right down. So Google is going to come under pressure because NVIDIA has come.
Yeah. And Microsoft also bringing down the net.
It's a different world altogether.
Before I go to students, Rashmita, my colleague at finance, any question from Rashmita? Microphone to ma'am. We're very happy. Some very lively questions from the faculty members. It's very nice.
So my question is to any one of the panel members. Like everybody highlighted on the fact that hard work is the key and key to success. But with this AI generation coming in, we have this term smart work. So which one precedes the other, or which one is more preferable, you think?
So let Shibaji take that question.
So, over here also there is no thumb rule that whether smart work will work or hard work will work. So, there is something, there are some prerequisites for every job, for every situation. So, I just want to cite an example. So, I would just want to interact with you all also. I am sure all of you have seen the Gavaskar trophy. So, you have seen that how disastrous our performance was. So, what was the reason? What was the reason? There are multiple reasons. What are the most important reasons you all feel? Anyone can add. Yeah, please.
The absence of pressure.
Okay. So very rightly pointed out, the absence of one of the finest batsmen who can play very well in Test cricket. Yeah. So one of the biggest reasons was that our so-called batting lineup failed disastrously. Why? They all played all sort of fancy shots, fancy T20 shots, which doesn't work in the Aussie environment. So that was the biggest reason, I believe. So over here also, but now if you consider one of the finest Test batsmen of India is Sunny Gavaskar. What was his reason of success? So I heard in one of his interviews say one of his most favorite shot was a hook shot, which he forgo in one of his when he was facing the West Indies in Savannah Park, a Brig wicket. He was avoiding that shot. So that is situational. So an ideal professional should be very, very situational. You need to learn things. You should know what to utilize what. It's absolutely situational business. So that is it from my end. Thank you.
You want to add anything further to that smart work, hard work?
Yeah, just
but Ashmita, I'll give an answer, definitive answer to you, which for all the students. Amazon is one of the top paymasters in USA, one of the top companies. Dear chairman is telling exact words that you have to work both smart and hard. It's not going to be just smart work. It's both smart. Amazon CEO says both smart and hard work, so that's what it is. Don't be over smart, definitely. Right? Now from the students, anything on the student side? Yes.
Gautam sir, I had a question specifically in regards to something you said about how hierarchical structures tend to provide structures to the organization and help drive the business forward. Like, but at the same time, what we need to consider is that with the advent of modern technology, we're looking at situations where emails all have timestamps, where everything is in the public domain, whether the kind of work that you're doing, whether, for example, in a coding company, the code that you upload to the company server, all of it is given, where all the changes have been made, who did it. There's a lot of accountability that is there by way of just the communication and with the sharing of the resources between the various people as well as the organs of that organization. Given that that accountability is inbuilt within how the corporate structure is working now, aren't hierarchical structures kind of obsolete in the modern landscape?
I don't know, actually. I don't have any answer. No. Basically, what you are saying it may happen. But generally what happens, suppose you have used some of the words like accountability. Who gives you the task? Who decides? Everybody in an organization decides that this will be my task. How organization will run? There has to be even the task setting, which we call goal setting or whatever. That has to come cascade down. Who decides? Who decides that the organization? There are methodologies of communication in which organization can take feedbacks, make the employees at the even the grassroots level more participative, more giving views and opinions on the decision-making process. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the investor will want that some decision has to be taken on some, and accordingly the goal setting will be there. So who will assess whom? Whether you have rightly, there are methods to do, you are right. The technologies are coming which can be self-assessment also can be done, and it is being done. It is not that it is not being done. But yet, there are, I can tell you the hierarchy, earlier organization can have 14 tiers. Now there is a process called delayering, and it is basically coming down. Maybe 2 layer, 3 layer, 4, but absolutely no boss. Nobody will be, decision making. Nobody will be answerable to anybody. No organization, I tell you, even family doesn't run on that. So it may lead to anarchy. So every organization, what some of my Ranjan was telling, that every organization has a purpose. Every organization, and nowadays it is called deep purpose. Not only the business, but its positioning in the society. So these are some of the thoughts which has to come from that's why the term leadership is there. So it can be more participatory, it can be more communicative, decision making can be, the next level of people can be more empowered, which are all positive side. But I feel some structure has to be there.
You want to add something?
Yeah, so I think what you're referring to is the hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure does not mean that it still continues to be command and control, at least in workplaces. Yeah. So the structure that Mr. is talking about has to have some kind of a thing in place to make sure that there is a reporting which is happening, there is an accountability. The buck has to stop at some place, right? So if the investor is asking for the answer, the buck has to stop with the CEO or whoever is the head out there. So that is the reason why you need the structure. But yes, we are moving away from the whole command and control, moving into more participatory mode of doing the same things.
Even I also just want to add one small thing out of here. This all varies industry-wise also. See, for example, industry which I belong to is a very mature industry, very steady based industry. Over there, you will find that old school of hierarchy still exists, and it exists successfully. But you will find the startups. They are operating altogether in a different model altogether. So it varies on the industry also.
Okay, one last question before.
See, I'll give you a simple answer. You have started a business. You have taken a loan of 1 crore from the market, from the bank. Correct? You have employed 10 people. You have decided what products to sell, to make and sell. And who will now decide how that 1 crore needs to be spent? You will decide. And then you will decide and then pass on the message to next level. and then to the next level. So you are yourself going to do a hierarchical. Why are you imagining something which is beyond what is normal and natural? The manner in which you decide to allocate resources in an organization follows a particular path. That path is called hierarchy. There is nothing wrong in maintaining a hierarchy. You have to. So who's the director of AIM? Who will decide where the next building will come up? You? Right? Thank you.
Okay, so last question. So we are almost 5 minutes to 4. Okay, since you sat in the front, so you get the chance. And the other question we can take offline.
Good afternoon, panelists. I am Anurag Roy. My question to you is that in the contemporary work environment, multitasking is the need of the hour. So how can we maintain focus as well as avoid the distractions? This is my question.
So Gautam, you are handling such a wide portfolio. So how do you manage multitasking?
What exactly you were asking, I didn't understand.
Sir, he's once again
multitasking will lead you to distraction. That is your
no, sir.
anxiety.
No, sir. Actually, what I was meaning is that multitasking is the need of the hour right now when we are in a contemporary work environment. So how can we stay focused as well as avoid distractions while we are in the work environment?
No, multitasking means basically, if you ask me about the skill, one is multitasking means that a person who is not really confined to one activity, he can have several other activities. But the basic discussion, what was going on, the need of the need to manage the situation with the change what is happening in the world, fast change. And there the skill is also important. Now definitely organization will definitely take care, but it has to be self-driven also, in my view. Because unless you have that urge to make you have to make you contextual. Organization definitely will do that, but organization has an advantage that in the market, he has available resource to replace him. But unless you become relevant to that changes what is happening, you may find it difficult. So I don't find that you will lose your focus if you really understand that what skill you should develop, what are the things which are coming next 5 years time frame, how really you can develop yourself to have those type of skills, acumen, aptitudes. I don't think it will lose you. Rather, you can be more focused. So I mean, if you really think that I will be only doing a same job, that is the definition of focusing in your mind that you have to come out.
On a lighter note, like the way you do Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, same way. Focus on that. So it's 4 p.m. and sharp at 4 p.m. like an army disciplined person, I'll hand over the mic back to the organizers. But I would like to, profusely thank very senior panelists who are like CHR or beyond CHR, like Mr. Gautam Ray is much beyond the CHR also, to have spared his valuable time. He has to go to a wedding, but on our request, he came. Mr. Ranjan, Banerjee came all the way from Parija, Shibaji, Nestlé, back to such a punishing schedule. And being a lady, mother of 2 children, she's come. So I think that's, we must profusely thank them. And I want to thank the faculty members and all to my dear students. And don't think the people who did not attend are smarter or staying in the hostel. It is you people are the smartest who are there. I am sure that you have benefited immensely for your, practical knowledge for your job interview. And let's give a big round of applause to the panelists here, the faculty members, and to our Brigadier sir who took down notes. I can't believe that, Our brigadier will be taking down notes. So with that, I'll hand it back to the organizer. He's leaving just few minutes. Few seconds.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we near the conclusion of the Corporate Summit 2025, I take this opportunity to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished speakers, panelists, and attendees who made this event a resounding success. To commemorate this special occasion and a gesture of our heartfelt gratitude, I would now like to request Director Sir, Brigadier Dr. Sujay Chaudhuri Sir, to kindly share a few words of wisdom and reflections on today's event. Okay. Sure, sir, definitely. So now I would like to call you on stage to give the mementos.
Photos to be given to be you.
Firstly, I would request Gautam sir to please come and receive the token of appreciation.
Then I take about 5 minutes. Is it okay with you? Thank you so much, Dr. Mukhopadhyaya sir. Good to see you back in our campus. My height is slightly less. I can take 10 minutes, right, of you guys? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Shibaji sir. Yeah, he spoke about cricket, right? You know how big cricketer he himself is. Are you aware of that? No. Hello, sir. I'm right? No. Okay. And Ranjan sir, thank you so much. Sir, my middle name is Ranjan, Sujay Ranjan. So that is when we are, sharing the same color. And thank you so much, ma'am. It's wonderful to, you having 2 kids and still you are really wonderful. First, let me try and recollect what they have said, not for you, but for my own consumption. Gautam sir has gone, so. Gautam sir spoke about 2 key things. One is, he said that technology gets obsolete in 4 to 5 years' time. So you have to be abreast with the technology. That goes without saying. Lifelong learning. He also spoke about collaborative nature. As you understand, in the spectrum of conflict, one side is your conflict, other side is your collaboration. You know which side to go. If you want your organizations to be effective and productive, right? Third thing about how to become a good subordinate. Whatever we learn, good things in management, with due regards to people who are in civil industries, most of them have come from armed forces. Even that, vulnerability, uncertainty that ma'am spoke
something that US Army started talking about. Because in a battlefield, it is to be very linear battlefield. Linear means first the advanced position will be addressed, and then you go to the next position, then you go to the intermediate objectives, depth objective. It is to be very linear. But with the invent of long-range artillery, your aircraft, missiles, now there is no linearity. When your advanced position right on the international boundary is being addressed, at the same time, your missile can hit the depth of target. So that is why the battlefield nature has become non-linear, and it has become very uncertain. So your decision-making capability has to change. That is why that adaptive decision-making process that we talk about, right? We have a tank man who is my senior, would know better than me. Ranjan sir spoke about culture, and he said that 1/3 of job will get automated. And he also spoke about change management and value of aspire. He also said any change that you want to drive in an organization, there will be a resistance. Since there will be an initial phase of resistance, your performance will go down. And like sir very rightly spoke about, you have to navigate through that value of aspire. Regarding now, few things I will be telling from my behalf, like the culture of the company, the culture of the organization that we run. AIMK has got a culture of its own. When you go and join another organization, it will have its own culture. You have to get enculturate in that culture. But the problem that you may face is that today we do not work offline always. There are online, there are hybrid. You all agree? And we don't know when the next pandemic will hit us. It can hit us in next 5 years, next year. When we are working from home, how do you maintain the culture of your organization? That's very important. Physically, when we are meeting each other, you see the body language, you see the way someone is talking, and culture generally it boils down to the top guy, the CEO or something. So you see him every day, but on the screen you don't see him much. Then how do you? That will be a challenge. You will have to look into that. Okay, automation of job. Automation of job. You understand there are two kinds of competencies that we have, and based on that we have two kinds of skill. One is my core skill, and one is my non-core. I hope I can speak, right? Madam.
Sure.
Okay. So, core skill are those skills for which the company has hired. Like I make presentations here for chairman sir, for patron sir. That's not my core skill. That's not my core skill. I don't get paid to make a presentation to him. Have you got that? So there are non-core activities that you will be asked to do, maybe 70% of your time, which will all get automated, and it should get automated. You must not waste your time and energy in your non-core activities. So what is your core activities? Your ability to think, like one of the panelists said. You remember that prefrontal cortex that we spoke, rational brain? How much critical thinking can you do? How can you analyze a complex problem and break it into smaller problems? These are the things which right now AI is not able to do, and it is estimated by 2030, another 5 years down the line, AI will be able to do. And you must be knowing the guys who are from BA, there is an agentic AI which is able to learn from his own experience. It can take decisions on its own. It can solve complex problems on its own. It's at a very, very nascent stage, but it will mature in about next 5 years, and thereafter, even that capacity, which is very unique to human being, it may go, right? Next, coming to
Ma'am spoke about adaptable to change, Charles Darwin. We all know that. Whoever adapts to change will survive. It's not the strongest or intelligent one. Time management, if I may give my point of view, ma'am. Anyone who can define time here, what is time? What do you understand by time? Anyone? Like I've been talking for the last 4 minutes. So 4 minutes have elapsed, right? If I speak for another 10 minutes, 14 minutes I have spoken. Who has defined this, that this will be 14 minutes? Yesterday we were having a discussion with the registered sir. You know that if you can move at a very fast, almost close to the speed of light, the time will be slow moving. You know that. You know that. So that means time is not ultimate, what we say. But why it is important here that we have to manage our time, because you have to do so many things together. Coming to Anurag, your point of multitasking, right? Again, there is a research, Harvard University research. It says if you do multitasking simultaneously in more than one task simultaneously, if you do it for 10 minutes, it will damage your brain, which will be equivalent like if you don't sleep for 4 nights. You know that. So my request to every student here, please do not do multitasking. It does not help. You may be doing so many things together, but not simultaneously. Put your energy, put your brain, apply your brain, the task at hand, that particular moment. Do not think of anything else when you are doing. Please, it's a scientific evidence which I'm talking about, right? Okay, ma'am. There are few, one last thing that, and I know you guys are very, I could have spoken more, but one last thing about hard work and smart work. I think you also asked, right? No, Rashmita ma'am. Ma'am, is it hard work because of the new director? Achha, Harun is not okay. There is something called burnout. They know better than me. There is something called burnout, which an employee undergoes, which cannot be seen, because continuously we pump in so many hours into the work which is required for the organizations. But in the process, you are damaging yourself to such an extent that you will not be able to recover by the time you realize. Now, I'm not trying to suggest you as an employee, I'm trying to suggest you as boss, whenever you become so-called boss or manager, or in a position where you can have your own say, please look after the well-being of your members. It's very important, and especially the neurodivergent people. If you understand neurodivergent people, right? Those who will not do the way normal people will do, especially challenged people. You have to have inclusive culture in your organization. You have to have. Okay? And please look after the well-being of your people and your own self. Do not neglect your own self. What you have got is not yours. Someone else has given it to you. So I will not take any more time. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. I would now like to invite you to present the mementos to our esteemed speakers. Firstly, I would invite Mr. Ranjan Banerjee, Group Head of Human Resources at Berger Paints India Limited, to come forward and receive the memento. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Rashmita Parija, Head of HR at Lexmark International, to receive her memento. Now, I call upon Mr. Shibaji Chakrabarty, Regional Business Manager at Nestlé, to accept this token of appreciation. Last but not the least, I would like to call Dr. Mukhopadhyaya sir to receive a token of appreciation.
Yes, sir. एक्स्ट्रा छुट्टी हो जाएगा दे दो जीएसटी बोलो
Students, please come up on the stage.
जिन्होंने बैठ के सुना उनको